Dumela, Saubona, Sakpase, Namaste, Upshin, Dubra Otra, Assalamu alaikum, Hotep, Buenas noches, and bonsoir. What's going on? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to season 2, episode, okay, you with me? 10, 20, 30. 9, episode 39 of the Doria Larry Show. I'm thrilled and honored to be with you once again here on this platform. Again, bringing you inspirational leaders from across the street, across town, across the globe who inspired people and influenced people to live their lives a little better than they did yesterday. Tonight is no different. Tonight, we have the blessed opportunity to sort of travel across to, let's say, the great Broadway from, in a matter of perspectives, and have a little cultural flair. I did say that I might be dropping a couple of bars, so you might actually hear me do a little rendition of this amazing, take the hint, take the hint, take the hint, take the hint. So we have with us here tonight, Brother Rome Neal. So listen in. All my stream team people, take notes. If you have you have to have your cup, right? You have to have your cup, you have to have your notes, and get ready to get some really great information about the cultural side of life. We have Rome Neal, who is the artistic director of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe theater program. Mr. Neal received the Obie Grant with Cafe founder Miguel Algarin for excellence in theater. Over the years, he's received 5, not 1, 2, 3, but 5 AUDELCO awards for his direction of Pepe Carril's Shango de Ima and Samuel Harp's Don't Explain. Mr. Neal also received 2 AUDELCOs for his acting, one for lead actor in Gabrielle Lane's Signs, and one for the solo performance in his critically acclaimed Monk by Lawrence Holder. Now, if you did not see that, I dropped a link in the description. Go see a part of it. He also received the National Black Theater Festival's coveted Lloyd Richards Director Award. I'm going to bring him on and then give another little note about him. Listen carefully.
Oh, thank you for that introduction. Thank
you so very much. Over. It's not over. We have more. We have more.
Uh-oh.
So I had to, of course, I do my research. I at least try to do my research. When I started posting this, Brother Neal, of course, I'd send it out to my feelers. And some people said, wait, I know him. Wait, I've seen him. Wait, he actually invited a group of young people to come and play in his Banana Puddin Jazz moment. I said, oh my goodness. We're going to talk more about the stuff that you do. So first of all, welcome here. I'm so glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here, Doriel. It's Doriel.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So glad to have you. Now, for those people who do not, if y'all ain't on a jazz tip, if you don't like crooners, if you don't like the shake-a-day and like the dim lights, then this is not for you. Oh, you need it in your life, though. I will say that you need it in your life. Welcome, Brother Rome Neal. Welcome.
My pleasure being here. I want to thank you for this invitation because this is something very special about this time right now in my life. I'm November 28th, I'm going to receive the AUDELCO Award, Lifetime Achievement. I keep saying Living Legend Award. It's kind of like the same, right?
It sure is, because you've done your work.
It's a Lifetime Achievement Award, and some revelations have just keep popping up. Just recently, I went. There's an opening in Tompkins Park, Herbert Von King Park, the reopening. Right? You heard about it?
Yes. Excuse me. I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay. So it was the reopening of the park, and I was invited to be there because I started my theater career in that park as a recreation worker in charge of creating theater there for the young folks, the adolescents, and senior citizens. I taught them theater, and I created plenty of plays there for 4 years.
Wait a minute. What? This was not a part of the bio. When
No,
was
it
this?
wasn't.
Because I want to shout some people out, because some people who are going to see this will probably say, yes, I was one of them.
No,
I got my little 5 minutes.
this was back in the late 70s. I think
That's okay.
78 to 72 was my term there at the then it was
78 to
Tompkins Park.
82.
78 to 82. Yeah, about that time. So that so it was a Herbert von King Park now. Then it was called Tompkins Park, and they had downstairs in the middle of the park this theater called the UB Blake Theater.
Yes.
Yes. And that's where I perform my shows. And then this also did shows on the outside of the park at the what do you call it? The park, the theater that they have on the outside also. So yeah, that was the starting point. So it was a revelation for me to go back there this past Friday for their opening ceremony. I missed the early morning or afternoon opening ceremony, but I got there because Baba Neal Clark had posted on Facebook. It's so wonderful sometimes when people post things about what they're doing. And I always am a stickler to my performers that, don't just think that you're doing a gig, post it and share it on your social media. So he posted it that day and I saw it. I said, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be there. So I rushed, I got myself together and I went there and they said, oh, well, you missed the morning part, but the evening we have Baba Neal Clark who will be playing. So I stayed there for the evening, 6 o'clock, and I had a marvelous time, just a marvelous time being in this spanking brand new theater with beautiful seats and staging and lighting. And it blew my mind.
So did you then have like a flashback of like, listen, I remember when.
Oh, I was flashbacking all over the place. I was telling everybody, I remember when I was here, they didn't have but 2 lights up in the ceiling and the floor was flat, and we just made theater happen. We did wonderful theater there. And Lou Myers, Lou Myers? From a Different World, Mr. Gaines from a Different World.
Oh, yes.
The late Lou Myers, he's my mentor. He was a worker for the Parks Department also, and he was doing dance classes, the Tashaka dance class, and theater also. And so Lou was there coming into the space. I was there permanently for every day, but he would come in on Wednesdays or Thursday with his group and do things, and we all hooked up then, and we would start doing wonderful theater all over the place.
That's amazing. Let's just drop some names. Okay, so I'm going to drop some additional names.
Okay.
So we have you as the creator, of course, of the Neal's Banana Puddin, right?
Rome Neal's Banana Puddin, yes.
Right.
Jazz. Banana Puddin Jazz. We can't forget the jazz because that's
Banana Puddin Jazz. Excellent. So I'm going to drop these names because I'm amazed. So it says, as a jazz vocalist, Brother Rome has performed at Town Hall on Broadway, the Metropolitan Room, the Museum of the City of New York, Lenox Lounge. Y'all know Lenox Lounge, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Joe's Pub.
Yes.
St. Nick's Pub. Minton's Playhouse. And we're going to be talking about Minton.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to talk about Minton's. Showman's. Now, for the record, my mother's watching, but Mom, I actually went to Showman's. I know this is another part of my life. In Harlem, and Showman's is not there anymore.
That's right. There's quite a few places not there. Lenox Lounge is no longer there. But Minton's is there right now, and Minton's has been revived and is a beautiful space right now. Good sound system, good lighting, good tables, good food. Brother Raphael Bacchus, he's the one that took over the place finally after the other owners left and went on to do other things, but he took over and he's in control of it. He's got Minton's Playhouse along with Cecil's restaurant club there on the other side, and it's a magnificent space. And just recently I went over to him. I said, when are you going to bring me up in here? He said, oh, when you want to come up in here. I said, as soon
Ain't
as
nothing but a word.
Yeah. So he said, I have an opening for November 4th, Friday. Someone just dropped out. Could you do that? Could you pack the place? I said, can I pack the place? Don't worry about packing the place. I'll be there and I'll put the word out, to and I'll get people in there. That's no problem. You know, they have tourists coming there anyway. So, I mean, it's going to be wonderful. I'm so excited about being at Minton's Playhouse. One, because that's the house where Thelonious Monk was the house pianist in.
We're going to get to that. Wait,
okay, we'll get to that. But the other thing that I'm excited about being at Minton is that when people have been calling me up and reaching out to me time and time again, they said, Rome, I heard there was a video introduction of Minton's with all these pictures of all the greats that played there. And then there's the voiceover that's there also. Is that your voice? And I have to say it's my voice. And people have been listening to me at Minton's for the past, I think it's about 4 years now. Yeah. The voiceover that introduces people to Minton's and the history of Minton.
Oh, how wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So I want to continue because you've actually been in a place that, another place that I've been to, and that is 966 Jazz.
Yes.
Which is in Brooklyn. Right?
On Fulton Street, yes.
On Fulton Street. If y'all know, you know. If you've ever been to 966 Jazz, Brother Rome Neal has been there as well.
I performed there, yes. I performed there. I did a documentary about 966 Jazz. And included in the documentary were some of the people who frequent there, and Donald Sangster and so many people that some of them are no longer with us, and they're to be missed. But they're in my documentary, and it's just wonderful that I said, well, listen, this place is so important. And it means so much. I got to pull out the cameras. I got to interview these folks, and because it's not going to be here forever for us, you know. So we need to document our history, and I got the opportunity to do that with. It's called 966 Jazz Forever Young, and Brother Al Van, who I interviewed him. He was coming there religiously, and dancing and just having a good time. He's one of the best dancers and was one of the best dancers in the place. G2 Way Usi.
Oh, yes, Baba G2. Yes.
Yes. And his wife, I mean, so many wonderful people have come through Minton's, and I mean, not Minton's, 966. And I had the opportunity to be there with my camera and then take them to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and interview quite a few of them about the experience of 966 Jazz. And in the documentary, we have some illuminaries like Baba Randy Weston, Baba Wynton Marcellus, and quite a few great people that spoke up while they were playing at the club. They spoke up and said wonderful things about why they would play there, you know, and support it.
You have definitely been with the greats, performing for them, with them, imitating them. So we're going to get to that in a moment.
Imitating, yes.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. I think you have a master plan here. So I'm going along with it.
So those people know what generation I'm from. So as soon as you said master plan, I was like, "Ooh, thinking of a master plan." But that's a whole other conversation. Okay. So you've also, of course, you've played at the Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit. Of course, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and that's uptown.
When you say Baker's Keyboard Lounge, that's the historic Baker's Keyboard Lounge. It's like one of the, if not the first place, jazz club in existence, and it's still going on now. Yeah.
Okay. So those people who are listening, whether you're hearing this live or on the replay, please look up Brother Rome Neal. Rome Neal, ROMENEAL. Actually his website is in the link in the description. And if you are hearing a place that he's played at, especially if you're from the New York area, but now if you're from Detroit, look up these places, participate. If they are still alive and flourishing, especially after the last few years, please make sure you make it your business, especially if you're a jazz head, a jazz soul.
Yes.
Go and keep jazz alive, keep it alive. Okay, so here's some other things.
I just want to say, and I'm a promoter, of course,
Please, that's what
and I
we're gonna
want to
do.
say, please go to my website. My sister, Cheryl Renee, put together a wonderful website for me. So go to romeneal.com.
I'm gonna actually put it in the comments. Yep.
Yes, romeneal.com, and you can see what I'm doing or what I've done, and you can see some of the Banana Puddin Jazz virtual shows that we did for 2 years while we're doing the pandemic. Some wonderful shows with Brooklyn musicians, people from all around the world. I did one Banana Puddin Jazz was called the International Connection. So I had people from Japan, the Netherlands, Iceland, it was Africa. It was amazing to bring all of them together doing jazz. And then there's one show that I'm very proud of is called Musical Kids with Coochie Chakalia. And it's a show where I bring in children from, they start from 3 years old to 12 years old. We don't go past 12, but 3 to 12, and they present their musical wares, and they sing, they dance, they play instruments, and it's just whole heartwarming. And it's called, again, musical Kids with Coochie Chakalia, and it's done. Coochie Chakalia is the second day of Kwanzaa.
Right.
So it's done the second day of Kwanzaa. I did for 2 years, and I'm going to do it again this year, and bring back some of the wonderful talent that I had last year in the show.
I was about to say, I hope that we can see some of this, and who knows, maybe bring them onto the show.
That's right. But you got to go. You can go to the website and you can see what they did 2 years ago for those two performances that they performed, and they amazed me, and I had to bring it back again and again. And so we're looking forward to doing that. But I had some amazing shows with Banana Puddin Jazz, and that was the virtual part of it. But before that, we would go to the performance for 17 years at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, presenting jazz artists, people who came into the house, like the great late Dr. Barry Harris, my mentor, Randy Weston, Kobe Narita, T.S. Monk, Thelonious Monk's son, Patience Higgins, who is my brother. He's always been with me and supportive of my jazz movement in the city, so, and so many other great people. I can go on. James Carter, saxophonist extraordinaire.
I hope people are taking notes.
Yeah, James Carter.
Excellent.
Eric Lewis, the pianist that President Obama said is one of the greatest piano players in the world, because he's played at the White House for him. And the list goes on of people who performed at Banana Puddin Jazz. But it's not just those A-list people; it's the young people that I was able to nurture and turn them onto the community, onto them and what they were doing with jazz, like young violinist singer Mimi Block, young pianist Leonike Shubu, who is actually, those are my two nieces. I call them my two nieces, and they love Uncle Rome, and I love their families, and all this is around the music,
So I'm actually really interested. I'm going to read one more thing that you've done, and then I actually want to talk about how you are, let's say, passing on the jazz legacy. So you just mentioned your two nieces, but I really actually want to go back to this piece of you working with the 3 to 12-year-olds, and where are these children coming from? Are you going into a school? But hold on a second. Let me get this last thing out. So you've also been a lead vocalist for the Bill Lee Mo Better Quintet. Mo Better, right? So we're talking about Bill Lee, who's Spike Lee's father. You also have a CD entitled A Brighter Crooner, and now his live concert, All in the Puddin'. I really want to know how we got Banana Puddin' as a name. Recently released a DVD along with your Rome Neal's Banana Puddin Jazz Jam, A Night to Remember. So you have so much going on. One of the questions that I really am not concerned, but I always just want to know is, how do you as an artist, how do you as an elder, because you're an elder in this work, you've done this work for a long time.
Yes.
You partially kind of answered it, because the question is, how are you passing on? How are you building capacity? How are you transferring this genre of creative arts to the next generation so that we can continue it? And so you've talked about how, you're having like younger groups, and I know a young man who is close to my family. He is a part of a band that came, I think, the Frank Sinatra School, and they came and they did some work with you. But now you're talking about this Kuji Chagulia work with 3 to 12-year-olds. Like, I want to know, how can we get more young people to learn from you, to sit at your feet and learn from you?
Well, it's not so much. Well, I guess they do learn in the process, because when I do those shows, it was like, okay, I'm going to take them on as professionals. I'm going to pay them a salary. I'm going to give them radio and television interviews, and
Excellent.
then they have to, they have to do what we do here, set up for the camera and all that stuff. So they're getting that firsthand knowledge and the first opportunity to perform live on stage, or on a broadcast show,
Yes,
so that's, that's been amazing for them, the opportunity. So I guess that's the learning part of it for them. Yes.
Okay. And then the 3 to 12-year-olds, are you going to particular schools in the area? Or is this like a Saturday program? Are you, you hosting like a master class for like 6 to 12 weeks? How does that happen?
No, they're just friends of mine. Their parents, their grandparents, their parents, they're friends of mine that I've been watching them and their children grow up on Facebook, and I look at what they do, how, how parents say, oh, my daughter, she sings, my son, he plays piano, and I'm looking at this and I say, oh, well, I want that one for my show. So I'll reach out to him and say, I want to have your grandson to be a part of my show. A brother by the name of Mosley, Clarence Mosley, of the Jazz Consortium group. His grandson is an exquisite piano player, and I saw him play. He was showing off his grandson. I said, Clarence, I want to have your grandson on my show, and he came on and blew us away. He played jazz tunes, and then he went into Sly and the Family Stones, Hot Fun in the Summertime.
Okay.
This is a 10-year-old boy, 10-year-old young man. It blew everyone away. I can't wait for him and his sister to come back again. And then there's my good friend Johnny May. Her daughter played a little piano and then sang and danced, and so that's how it happens.
These are moments that I'll say we in community. I'm saying that lightly in parentheses, or in quotes. That we in community, we start. I don't know who says it, like, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, or by your own bootstraps.
Right.
Like, don't wait for someone else to sort of come along, like, to find you, but go and look out on the highways and the byways of where you are and spot good talent in the making, and then bring them alongside you and sort of polish them. Right.
Yes,
I think I'm into the polishing part of life, where I say, and this is there's a framework, there's an ideology, that's the best way. There's an ideology that's going around in a lot of organizations that were born and developed decades ago. And now, as those people are, growing into their wise and elder years, they're realizing, listen, if I don't sort of, again, build capacity, if I don't sort of teach this to the next generation, we may lose this art, no matter if it has to do with food or worship or, music or arts, whatever, that we need to definitely build down, right? Build across. Right. So I'm excited that you are looking at those people who are around you and saying, hey, I spot some good stuff. Let me sort of, right, like, bring you alongside for a moment and show you what it looks like as the big people, as the adults do it, because that's how they're going to get their start. Their start may actually begin with their parents and exposure, or, like you said, you worked in recreational activities at a local center.
At Tompkins Park Center, and now the Herbert Von King Park Center, yes.
Right. And so, you touched I'm sure you have touched so many people's lives and they don't necessarily know how you've impacted their life. But now they're like, wait a minute, I learned that from Brother Rome Neal. Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
why I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
I met some of the kids that were there at the time, and they tell me that it's a wonderful feeling to know that you've been able to give something to others and to develop them in their growth.
Excellent. So now a real big thing that I've been like playing over and over and over in my head over the last couple of days
Uh-oh.
was two things, right? First of all, it's the song, which is why I
Mm-hmm.
wore the color. We'll talk about it in a moment. But also the work that you are a doppelganger. You're a doppelganger, right?
What is that? A doppelganger.
A doppelganger
A
means that
doppelganger.
you have a twin.
I do. Oh wow.
Who's your twin?
Who? What?
Thelonious Monk.
Oh. Some people say Danny Glover. I don't know. I don't know.
So,
Okay.
So how did this amazing work? How did this amazing opportunity happen?
Well, some people ask me, said, how did you get to start to do Thelonious Monk? And I said, well, I think that Monk had chosen me for this. How they out there in the spirit world, they're out there, and it's probably looked down and say, hey, there's a guy that looks a little bit like me, and he probably he's a half-ass actor. Maybe he can play my part, tell my story. But before that happened, you had the great Lawrence Holder, the playwright, who came to me and he did a two character play about Bud Powell and Thelonious Monk. And when he did that play, I didn't get the chance to do it at that time because I missed a reading of it, and the director of the reading decided to go with someone else, and so I missed the reading. And Lawrence did another play about Thelonious Monk and Bud Powell and the Baroness Pananica, which two friends of mine did, and he always would tell me, he said, Rome, I always wanted you to be my Thelonious Monk character. So when we were coming back from the National Black Theater Festival, he said he would write a one-man show about Thelonious Monk for me. And he wrote it, and we workshopped it at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And for 3 months, we did 3 readings over the 3 months, and developing it. And then we went into production of the play, and it's a wonderful opening production. We raised money and we got people to come out. I can remember the first night, it was so many great people who filled the house for that opening night. And over the years, so many great people have seen the play at the cafe. Ruby D and Ozzie Davis was sitting up there one night looking at the show in awe. Max Roach came out to see the show, and he said, and afterwards he came up to me and said, "Man, you were Monk up there. I know Monk. I played with him. Yeah, you were Monk, primo." And I said, oh, after that, I said, "Okay, I'm Thelonious Monk now." Yeah, so that was a wonderful revelation to have these greats in the house seeing this play about Thelonious Monk. And the first night, George Wein, this extraordinary producer of jazz, and he came. He was sitting up front, and I had a DVD of the show, a pre-DVD of the show, and he had purchased it for $200 that night. It was George Wein. He's got it that way, or had it that way. He's no longer with us, but he was sitting up front and center with his wife, and so some amazing things happened for Monk the play, and I've been doing it for over 20 years, all over the country in different places. That's how I got the chance to go to Baker's Lounge, because for 3 years straight they used to bring me out to Detroit to do it at this place called Serengeti Gallery in Detroit, and that was a wonderful time. Because after I do the play, I would go out to Baker's Lounge and get in a jam session or sing or do a piece from the play and hang out with those great musicians. Yeah.
So I have to say that my mother is in the house, and my mother said all the names that you're dropping. She goes, "These artists were before your time," but that's okay because the way I know about Thelonious Monk is because my father used to have all of these records, and Thelonious Monk was one, Miles Davis was the other, and I literally remember the silhouette of one of the albums. I believe it's in white and black of Thelonious Monk, and I clearly remember seeing it in front of the record player and hearing it. Also Miles Davis, and then John Coltrane, of course, and then MJQ, Modern Jazz Quartet. Oh yes, Mama, I remember a thing or two. They're before your time. You don't know what these people are.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm blessed to hear.
Well, you know, we have my little niece. She's my niece. I call her my niece. She's my niece, my musical niece, Leonike Shobu. She knows all these great musicians, and I guess that's what makes her so great with playing piano. You must hear her one of these days. I have a father who will be performing with me at Minton's Playhouse on November 4th.
Yes, that's what we're going to get into. Where you going to be?
Yeah, Minton's Playhouse on November 4th with my quartet, Patience Higgins, Nick Shubu, Lonnie Plaxico, and Andre Ches Lewis, young prodigy, who's just blowing us away with his piano playing and musical direction. He just directed a reading of a new musical play that's coming out about Ella Fitzgerald, with none other than Dee Dee Bridgewater in it. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, so I've got some wonderful people that I'm working with that are going to be playing with me at Minton's Playhouse on November 4th. So I ask people to get your reservations in there, because it's going to be all that. It's going to be a great time to be had, and we're going to have a party. It's going to be great. I guess a wonderful. Speaking of it, I have a wonderful song set list. And
is this where I can break out?
This is where you can break out, girl.
Okay, so people, this is again when I have to interview someone, I never do these cold. And so I spend time, looking the person up, of course, going through, of course, not just their page, but I just Google them, I YouTube them, and I came across this song that I'll do a few bars.
Go right ahead.
But it's good. So this song is so beautiful. I found out that it was, now I don't know if it was originally done by this person, but what is it called? The Blue-Eyed?
Frank Sinatra?
Right. But what is his tag name? The Blue-Eyed what?
I don't know. Blue-Eyed Soul Brother, I guess. We'll call him that.
Whatever his name is. Right. But Frank Sinatra. But I first heard you sing it. Because I looked it up. I was like, oh, what does he do? What is he saying? Oh, look, the moon is. I was like, I like that. I must have played it at least 9 times in the last 2 days.
Wow.
At least. Then I Google it again, and Frank Sinatra's face comes up. I'm like, he did it too? So I listened to his version. I'm sorry, I couldn't get past the second line.
Oh, wow.
I had to just go back to you. I had to go back to you.
Bing Crosby sang it also. Yeah. No. You know Bing Crosby?
I know who that is. I just want you to sing it. That's it. So here's my line.
Go ahead.
The moon was yellow and the night was young. A smile brought us together, and I was wondering whether we'd meet again someday. The moon was yellow, and the song was sung. That vocal inspiration gave me the inclination to give my heart away. That's all I'm going to do.
Whoa.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That was fabulous. Thank you.
So I only know. So this is what I know about art, at least for me. Well, no, I think this is true for life. When you hear something or experience something the first time,
Right.
it sets your ruler.
Mm.
Anything after that does what? Gets compared to the ruler.
Ooh.
So you were my ruler.
Oh,
So when I
wow.
heard you do it, I was like,
Oh.
oh, I like that. And then I heard the other people, I was like, that's not him.
Uh-oh.
I need him to sing it again. So
Well, come to Minton's Playhouse on
yes.
November 4th and hear me with my fantastic band as I sing The Moon Was Yellow and the Night Was Young. And we're going to blow it away. We're going to have a good time. For information, more information about anything that I talk about on this program, go to romeneal.com.
Yes.
Again, my web designer, my sister, Cheryl Renee, put together a marvelous, fantastic website for me, and I'm so very blessed to have her in my corner. So go check it out, romeneal.com, and get the information about reservations for November 4th at Minton's Playhouse, and be in the house because and get those reservations in because it's going to get crowded and it may be sold out. You never can tell. Things have been selling out lately. A lot of people want entertainment. They want
because we outside.
Yeah.
We outside. We coming back outside. And if we can come back outside and we can also appreciate good music, appreciate a good story, appreciate good vibes, then you go to Minton's.
Yes.
Then you go hear some jazz. Be outside. I'm looking forward to as many people to pack the house next week at Minton's. You never know. You might see somebody sitting in the crowd. I'm just saying.
All right. Looking forward to it. I want to give a shout out to Brother Michael Walker, who turned me on to you.
Oh, thank you.
And you on to me and said, you need to be on her show. Michael Walker was the, wonderful vocalist himself. I've taken many, we sat together and across the street in the school where he was the principal.
Yes.
And we go in the basement and listen to the music, and he'll play some tunes, and we just, it's just good to have
rock out, right? Jam out.
That's right.
That's lovely. Again, I'm so blessed. I'm honored that you would consider it not robbery, but to come on the Doria Larry show, to just share what you do, to get more people into either reintroduce them to jazz.
Oh yeah, it's important.
Take it way back.
It's so important that we keep this legacy alive and going. We just lost our, I call him our father who art in heaven, and that's the great Barry Harris. He lived for the music. He lived for educating people about the music. He used to have a workshop every Tuesday for like 30, 40 years. He used to have his workshop, and all the musicians would go there and take singing with him, piano and musical instruments. They would a full evening, for little or nothing, just come together. And he religiously, he would do this. I mean, Barry would tour the country and have to get back to his class because that's how much his students meant to him, So it's I want to keep his legacy going, to pass this on to other young people about the music, and to appreciate the music, and not only appreciate but support the music, and be there and support the people who do the music, the musicians also, other musicians.
Right.
It's very important. And when you speak about support the music, I want to give a shout out to one of my staunch supporters of the music, one of my sponsors, who's been the sponsor of Banana Puddin Jazz for over 15, 16 years, none other than John D. Smith. Unheard hero, but has been in my corner and always said, hey, put up some money to help make it happen, along with other folks, the Jazz Foundation, who stepped to the plate this past a couple of years because of the stuff that I was doing virtually, and they've been in my corner helping out also. So once we get people to appreciate who you are and what you're doing, and then, and throw some ducats your way, it all helps, I tell you.
You listen, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I just had this conversation before you and I got on, right? About it comes from our heart, and people appreciate it to an extent. And then when it's gone, they're like, man, I really miss that. Then you gotta come and support.
That's right.
You gotta come and support so we can still do what we do. On that note, this has been such a wonderful conversation. I do look forward to hearing from you again. Please come on back. I want to make sure that those people who are, again, if you're a jazz head, you're trying to be a jazz head, you're another musical genre head, but you know that jazz is infused in what you do, whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not, please make sure you support artists like Brother Rome Neal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of the Nuyorican Poets
Cafe. Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I've been there for over 4 decades. I'm doing theater, and that theater turned out to, after doing the play about Lawrence Holder's play about Thelonious Monk, it turned out to jazz. I started the Rome Neal's Banana Puddin Jazz series there that's been for 17 years. And but theater, along with the great Miguel Algarin, was my foundation at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and I've done so many great plays there with so many wonderful artists. Sekou Sunde Ata, he's you know Sekou?
I through an aligned community, yes.
Right, Sekou Sunde Ata, a wonderful poet and playwright. He wrote a play called "When the Circle Unbroken Is a Hard Bop," and I directed 5 of Amiri Baraka's plays there. And Ishmael Reed's I've been working with Ishmael Reed for 30 years and directed at least 11, 12 of his plays at the Nuyorican and other places. So, I had the opportunity from the Nuyorican to work with so many great people over the years. And I feel so blessed that this year is a wonderful year that I'm getting the opportunity from AUDELCO, the 50th anniversary of AUDELCO, Black Theater.
And AUDELCO is? Tell us what AUDELCO is.
AUDELCO is Audience Development Organization responsible for developing audiences and showing recognition to excellence in Black theater, from the actors to the directors, the set designers, the light designers, the musical directors, all the people that make up an excellent show in the Black theater community. On November 28th at Tribeca Performing Arts Center, we will be in celebration, and yours truly will be receiving the Living Legend Award that night. And I'm so very proud and blessed that AUDELCO is going to do that for me. And there's going to be some awesome people in the house, some great shows that were nominated for AUDELCO awards this year. So I tell people, don't wait because the tickets are not on sale yet, but they will be very shortly. Go to audelco.org, www.audelco.org, and find out more about AUDELCO and find out how you can get your tickets for the shows, for that show that night at the Tribeca Performing Arts Center. It's like, you have the Tony Awards, you have the Drama Desk Awards, you have the Oscars. Well, we have our community, our Black theater community, we have the AUDELCO Awards. And the AUDELCO Awards were won by people like Denzel Washington. Won his first theater award, was the AUDELCO for lead actor. Felicia Rashad won her first AUDELCO for lead actor in a play called Zora. Denzel won for the play called When the Chickens Come Home to Roost, when his first, not Spike Lee's Malcolm, but his first time doing Malcolm X was in Lawrence Holder's When the Chickens Come Home to Roost. And those are 2 plays, Zora and Malcolm, When the Chickens Come Home to Roost, are 2 plays my good friend Lawrence Holder wrote. And then Rome Neal received the AUDELCO for solo performance in Monk. So some of the great writers, Richard Wesley, who who is receiving a Living Legend Award also, and I mean it goes on and on. The list I can.
Well, I was very surprised when you said, get your tickets, and in my head, I think that's only for theater people. Do regular people actually go to this? And you're like, yeah, go get your ticket.
Yeah, get your ticket. Be in the house. Go,
that's beautiful. So
AUDELCO.org and find out.
I put it in the chat.
Yes.
AUDELCO, right? AUDELCO.
Yes, right. That's right.
Good. Excellent. So
the organization was founded by the great late Vivian Robinson, then spearheaded by my good friend, the Grace L. Jones, who spearheaded for another 11 years before she passed it on to Jackie Jeffries, who's now the president of AUDELCO. And I've been doing PR. I'm a good publicist too, so to a certain degree. So
I hear you, because I'm hearing all these names of places and achievements. I love it.
So I've been doing the publicity for these ladies since Vivian was around back in '94 when we had. It was ironic that I think in '94 we were nominated for our production of Shango de Ima. We were nominated for 11 AUDELCO awards, and we won all 11 awards that night.
Right, I'm looking at, these are the things that, so folks, this brother has a beautiful resume, and I was just like, wow, it's a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read all of it, but you can actually get all of this information on his website, Rome Neal.
Yes, that's right.
On Brother Rome Neal's website, so which is connected. It was part of the link in this bio, in this caption, in this video. In this interview. So make sure that you find out all this information. That I'm so excited that you're here.
Are there anybody asking any questions on the side? Do you know?
Right. So actually just people dropping comments. So actually I'll pull them up. The ones that I'll pull up are actually from my mom. So she was like, oh, these people are still before your time. I'm like, no.
That's Mama Phyllis.
That's my mother. So Blue-Eyed Soul, right? Blue-Eyed Soul. That's what we called him. Or that's what he was called. And then when I was talking about the different places like Showman's and such, so she goes smoke-filled cafes. Ma, what you know about them smoke-filled cafes? Okay. Got to know another side of my mouth. But this has been great. So I definitely look forward. Of course, people continue. If you can get your tickets for November 4th at Minton's to see Brother Rome do his thing, get up on that stage, do it with the Shake-A-Day. Oh my gosh, that Shake-A-Day is just so mesmerizing. I have to tell you, it's so mesmerizing.
It's so magical. I mean, I take it to theater too. When I go to theater and people applaud with their hands. I like to applaud with my Shake-A-Ray, and those who are in the know, if they're on stage and they're like, "Whoa, there's a Shake-A-Ray in the house," it's a good feeling. I just love to give. Speaking of Shake-A-Rays, over the years, I decide. People say, "Oh, they always talk about people in their award ceremonies. Well, they did this wrong and they did that wrong," and I said to myself. Well, if you think they did this wrong and that wrong, maybe you should do your own award ceremony. And not because of that so much, but I felt that I needed to do my own award for the people in the arts that I truly appreciate. And I decided to give away the Shake-A-Ray Awards. And I've given away so many of those awards over the years. I've given one to the great Woody King, Barry Harris, Randy Weston, Danny Mixon, my good friend, this man, this king, he started with me in a play at the Nuyorican Post Cafe called Don't Explain, about Lee Morgan.
Okay, right.
In that play, he played Lee. He won the AUDELCO award. The casting director came down there and started to cast him in films and theater. And the last I heard from him, not the last I heard from him, but just bring the culmination of the story, he won 2 Emmy Awards for This Is Us, the TV series, and none other than Ron Cephas Jones.
Oh, who plays the father?
The father of the lead actor,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, and he started with me down at the Nuyorican Postcard, his first theatrical performance during the play Don't Explain. Won the AUDELCO Award for lead actor in that particular play, him along with Kim Weston Moran. That play was nominated for 7 AUDELCO Awards and won all 7 awards also.
Listen, just the fact that I'm able to capture this story of and archive it, these names of people who we've seen on screens, we've seen on stages, we've seen, we've heard, we've felt, we've been able to touch and to sing with and to act with and to read with. Just the exchange of energy, of people may say good vibes, but of energy, of creative genius. I am humbled. I'm very blessed to, of course, meet you for the first time. I'm telling you, when I go to sleep tonight, your song, The Moon
Was Yellow and the
it's
Night
gonna be
was
in
Yellow.
my head. It's gonna be in my head.
Yes, yes.
So thank you so much for coming. You are always welcome back. But the next time you come back, we gotta sing the lines together. I'm just saying.
Okay, well we do a little duet. I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, we'll hook that up.
That's beautiful.
This has been an awesome experience. Thankful to the platform that you're on, StreamYard, because I do my Banana Puddin Jazz series on StreamYard also. And
shout out to StreamYard.
Yeah, it really works. It works, and it gives us, people. You have network TV, but then you have our TV. We create our own.
And soon come. That's another conversation. We'll definitely have our own.
Yes.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
but for now, this is good.
This works. It works. It works.
Sure does. So, folks, I want you to make sure that, of course, you not only stay tuned for our next scheduled performance, right? And from, of course, Brother Rome Neal. Please see him on November 4th. At Minton's, where he will be doing all the things that he does. And then on November 28th, where he'll be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award for AUDELCO, which he is definitely worthy of. Again, if you see his street cred, right, his credentials on his website, you'd be like, oh my, I was there. Oh my, did I check that? Oh, I heard about that. That's why he's getting the award. Because he's that good. So please check him out. Stay tuned. I know he has some merchandise on his site. Please, if you're a jazz head, then you'll understand. But let's celebrate those who creatively breathe, eat, and sleep, pulling things together out of the air, tying it together with skill and with talent, and then creating amazing sounds, amazing sights, and amazing feelings and emotions that can only be done on a stage, maybe in a lounge or a cafe, on the screen, but it moves the soul. So thank you so much for moving our souls over these past X years. You can say how long it was. I'm not going to tell you business.
It's like Amiri Baraka said to me once. He said, you can make theater wherever you want to make it. You can make it in your basement, and that's what he did in Jersey. In his basement, he had his own theater company right out of his basement. Yeah, and so I appreciate that. Speaking of theater, December, the first week of December, end of November, going into December, there's a play that I'll be directing called "'Twas the Night Before Kwanzaa" by Carl Clay at the Black Spectrum Theater. So we go into. I'm looking for a 6-year-old character, young man, to play the character M2. If he's out there somewhere, he could be 10, but I need a young man to play M2, that character. So you never can tell.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
So this is like an acting opportunity for somebody. If you know a 6-year-old, go.
I mean, it don't have to be. It could be 10. Because sometimes 6 years old. Doing.
You got to be the right thing.
Yeah, so it could be 10 years old, able to play 6 years old.
Okay, all right.
young M2 for that. The night towards the night before Kwanzaa at Black Spectrum Theater in Queens,
In Queens?
running through for 2 weeks into first week of December into the last 2 days of Kwanzaa, I believe. But
okay, so through January 2nd or January 1st.
Actually, through December, in the end of December, because there'll be the 28th, the 28th and 26th, I believe. I'm just someplace in December we'll be doing 2 days of Kwanzaa. We'll be doing the play also, but it starts November 30th through December 11th.
Excellent.
And then it picks up.
So, of course, all this information is going to be on your website.
Everything is going to be on my website. So all you have to do is go there, folks, and you didn't have to write anything down. All that stuff. Just go to the website. The conversation, anything that struck you, you have a question about, you have the opportunity to go to the website and check it out.
Excellent. We thank you so much for coming on to the Doria Lario Show. We love the fact that you are, again, you're still doing your work, you're sharing it with people, you're performing, and you're teaching the younger, whoever the younger is, in order to carry on the jazz legends that we have grown up with and know and love. So peace and blessings. This is a Learn to Grow You moment where I plant seeds to help you grow. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. And if you have any other people who you are interested in that should be sitting right here, please let us know. Come on through. You know how to reach me at all platforms at Learn to Grow Letter U. That's Larius Education and Resource Network. To grow you, where I plant seeds to help you grow. Have a good evening, everyone.